Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the match between the Blues and the Highlanders. It is, of course, the Super Rugby Pacific Super Round taking place in Melbourne. The crowd haven't quite made it to the ground yet by the looks of it, but hopefully it fills up because this is going to be an absolutely awesome game. The final of Super Rugby Trans-Tasman only a couple years ago. Looking through at these sides, couple Blues boys in the Highlanders lineup, of course, hoping to go well up against their ex-side, but looking through at the starting lineup for the Highlanders, who are considered as the home side for this contest. It is Ethan de Groot in the front row alongside Henry Bell and Jermaine Ainsley. Pari Parkinson slots in at 4 with Max Hicks as 5, Sam Withy, Billy Harmon and Hugh Renton as the loose forward trio. Then Folau Fakatava at number 9. He's been phenomenal throughout the preseason as well as that first match up against Moana Pacifica. Definitely a player to watch out for this season, and also maybe a player to watch out for in All Blacks contention near the end of the Super Rugby competition. Reece Patchell at 10. Jonah Nariki out on the left wing with Sam Gilbert and Tanielu Talia in the midfield. Timothy Tavatanawai and Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins. Now those two combined probably have a good argument for having the longest 14 and 15 combination of last name in the competition. Now don't let Nwanga Nedawasi hear you say that, but course, let down a bit by Jorgensen at number 15. Now, looking through at the Blues starting lineup, they are going to be as follows. Ofa Tuangafasi, Ricky Riccatelli, and Marcel Renata as the front row. So the return of Ofa at number 1 did actually play a little bit more tight head in last season, I believe, but has more transitioned to now loose head prop, definitely with the loss of Alex Hodgman. Lachlan McWannell at 4 with Sam Derry as the number 5. Akira Ioane returns from his injury. He'll be the starting 6 alongside Dalton Pabli at 7 and Hoskins Atutu, a man who did extremely well up against the Fijian draw last week. He'll be occupying that number 8 jersey. Then at number 9 it is Taufa Funaki with Stephen Perafeta at 10. Bryce Heem and AJ Lamb in the midfield. Caleb Clark, Mark Talea and Zahn Sullivan will be the back 3, and that is an extremely dangerous trio. Clark with the power, Talia with the step, and Zahn Sullivan with those 50-22 kicks that always seem to pay off. But looking through at the way that the current table sits, the Hurricanes at the top of the bunch on the 5 points, but their points differential just a little bit better than some of the other sides. Both of these teams receiving the full 5 points available in their opening contest. They want to make sure that they double it here. That would take them through to 10. But looking in the chat, we have got the IAAMI says, Jet Lee's welcome in, mate. Landers 25-22 is the prediction there. And hi, all and Hamish says Robert and the chat as well. But yeah, I hope you guys are all doing very well. I hope you're all excited. But this game just around the corner at AAMI Park, of course. So neither side really having home field advantage. But in terms of momentum, both of these sides certainly do have that. That is one thing for sure. But looking through at the previous fixtures for the Blues throughout the Super Rugby Pacific season, I should say, before we get into preseason, they did win their last game up against the Fijian draw, 34 points to 10. Not a huge amount of resilience, I guess you could say, from the Fijian draw throughout that game. The Blues started quickly, and that is definitely what made it a lot more challenging for the Drua. In preseason, the Blues were undefeated. So far, throughout 2024, the Blues are sitting 4 wins, 0 losses. Of course, preseason normally counts a little bit different to the regular season, but this could put them on a 5-match winning streak at just this point of the competition. Then, for their opposition in this game, the Highlanders. They did beat Moana Pacifica in preseason. They actually beat the Hurricanes by a massive margin. Same with the Crusaders. So the Highlanders, they are in the same boat. They are on a 4-match winning streak. These two sides, to be honest, this is the perfect time for them to play, because later on in the competition, if they went head-to-head, which I believe they still do, we wouldn't get to see them both with such momentum heading into the game. Now, they've beaten some great caliber of opposition. Of course, the Blues taking on a couple Japanese sides, whereas the Highlanders in their preseason, they have been taking down top Super Rugby New Zealand sides. There's a lot that's on the line for this game and a lot of points available up the Landers. Bring it on, says Simran there, and also very excited, says Jet Lee's, why are you late? Says the Lol King. I think that you're late, the Lol King. I started 5 minutes ago. You've only just showed up. We have got, can New Zealand still save the test match, or Australia winning it all the way? Says Coding, they're going to have to get a lot more wickets early on day 3, that is for sure. But couple good wickets late in the day for New Zealand. I mean, there's still a long way to go, don't get me wrong, but we're probably just getting into the best time to bat in this test match. Australia made it look easy at the start, of course, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it does end up going. But we are only 4 minutes away from the start of this match, ladies and gentlemen. This is, of course, the first of 2 games that are taking place tonight. The second, it will be the Rebels taking on the Western Force. And then also this weekend, we see Moana Pacifica taking on the Fijian Drua. We see the Crusaders taking on the Tars. And then also on Sunday, 2 massive games. Chiefs versus Brumbies, Hurricanes versus Reds. All 4 of those sides have not lost a game yet in the Super Rugby Pacific competition. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how they end up going. But they are just showing that Blues backline again. Perofeta, Clark, AJ Lamb in the midfield rather than Rico Ioane. So that is probably the biggest change that they have had to make in that backline, as well as Taufa Funaki starting this game rather than Perofeta. Finley Christie, of course, was starting. And the last contest, looking through at the benches for the Highlanders, a couple of players to definitely watch out for. Daniel Leonard-Brown in the front row, I think will bring a bit of physicality, going head-to-head with Angus Ta'avao later on in the contest. Jonah Lowe off the bench, I feel like he will have a decent enough impact here. And then, of course, for the Blues, Adrian Choke, Sam Knott, Harry Plummer. Some good players taking part in this opening game of round 2. We have got Livestream the Warriors Raiders game in Christchurch because I'm going to be there. I hope you see me there. Says Jet Lees, and now these 3 days will be full pack of rugby. Says Coding, I was waiting for so long, then I started to play my game. I need Fiji 7s. Says the Lol King, and of course the Fijian 7s is going to be starting in the near future. Of course, taking part in LA alongside Samoa, New Zealand, and all those top sides. South Africa, Argentina, Australia. We're going to be covering a lot of the 7s on the channel as well. Just showing those benches again. A couple young players here for the Highlanders, which I think is a little bit similar to what we see in their starting lineup. Not a huge amount of experience at Super Rugby level for some of these guys. Like I mentioned, 2 ex-Blues men. Tava Nawai, of course, was Moana Pacifica. And then Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins and also Tenuelu Talia, both coming from the Blues. They didn't really get those opportunities when playing in that light blue, so they've gone to the dark blue, headed down south to Dunedin. They must not like the weather because, of course, Dunedin, one of the coldest places that you will find in New Zealand. We have got new Fiji versus. Their first game will be versing Great Britain, and that will be at about 3:54 p.m. New Zealand time tomorrow. We will go like this and like this. The favourites of this contest heavily in favour of the Blues for this match, even though, like I mentioned, the stats are actually decent for the Highlanders, not losing a game so far to anyone throughout 2024. It's not that cold. That's because I think you're down in Dunedin, so that probably means that you're used to the temperature. It's like if you lived in Antarctica for long enough, you'd be like, yeah, this isn't actually that bad. Or if you were in like somewhere that's always 40 degrees, then eventually the body gets accustomed to it. Now both sides making their way out of the tunnel. Keeping a close eye on Falau Fakatava for this game. I feel like he can really have an impact when it matters most. Pray for a draw. Now I'm interested to see what would happen in a draw scenario. I actually think if it was a draw, they do still go to golden point. I believe that lady was just pointing to her Highlanders logo. Unfortunately, pointed to the wrong side of the jersey. Realised it though, made the adjustment. Just like Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins, he's going to have to make a lot of adjustments throughout this game. When you've got a side like the Blues throwing everything at you, one thing's for sure, this could end up being a very high-scoring contest because both of these sides love scoring tries. Ooh, the mullet. But surely that's a common occurrence in Dunedin, isn't it? I coached kids cricket yesterday, and there was a kid with such a massive mullet. Like, I'm talking, it was probably down to halfway down his back. He could hit a cricket ball. He almost accidentally hit me with a bat. He didn't mean to. It was just my head was in the wrong place. Angus Gardner, referee in charge of this one. We want a nice free-flowing game between these two sides. And if it is that way, we're going to see a lot of tries. We're going to see a lot of points throughout the next little while. But nonetheless, We are now ready to go, ladies and gents, for the opening game of Super Rugby Pacific Round 2. Now, earlier on when I was doing the cricket, the scoreboard would not update. Luckily, it looks like it's going to play the game here, but it's kicked off by Reece Patchell and dropped cold by Hoskins Tutu. It's a clear knock-on from his off his feet as well there. Take your pick, referee. You can either penalise him for not releasing or playing the ball on the ground. But not the start. Definitely not after he had 2 tries in their last game up against Moana Pacifica. But I mentioned about him during the podcast. I said he's quite a hot and cold player. Needs to find that clear consistency. Unfortunately, just making that real early mistake gives the Highlanders a perfect attacking opportunity from just inside of the Blues 22. Looks like the sun is out on the far side. Maybe sides will start to utilise that with a cross kick. Looking straight up into the sun. Fortunately for the crowd, they are actually also looking straight up into the sun. They won't be able to see too much unless they've got the sunglasses on. Now this could get confusing. Blues are white, Highlanders are blue. Just got to remember that little bit more navy. You are looking at the Highlanders and you're looking at Sam Gilbert there charging up the middle of the field for the home side out wide. Nice ball to Sean Withy. Sells the dummy and he's over. Highlanders score in 1 minute 20. That's how you make a statement. Good drop, Hoskins Tutu, but that is going to lead to the home side. We're just going to call them the home side. I know it's in Melbourne, but there's a flag there for the Highlanders, so we'll assume they've got a bit more support. But great work out wide. Sean Withy just steps in, gets through Ricky Riccatelli, who let him slip. And the Highlanders score it nice and early. Yeah, the Highlanders, how are you going? Or who are you? Blues or Highlanders, says the Lol King. I mean, I'm in the South Island, so I mean, I should probably be the Highlanders, but as you guys know, we are pretty impartial. And what a start, though, for the Highlanders. Fakatava saw that pass out to Sean Withy, who was just ready to try and bulldoze. Tuanga Fussy missed the tackle. Ricky Riccatelli missed the tackle. And then Caleb Clark wasn't able to slow him down. That is a big mullet on the head of Tenuelu Talia. Changes haircuts like he changes Super Rugby clubs. Now Sam Gilbert line up this kick. 2.5 minutes in, he's had a fantastic start to his Super Rugby Pacific season. Still up there for try of the season contender after the first round. And he's missed it. It's gone away to the left-hand side. Slightly jinxed him there. But score will remain at 5-0. A brilliant start to the match for the Highlanders. John Kerwin's in the commentary box. Has he always been the play-by-play or even the analysis side of things in the commentary? I know he's been sideline commentator before in terms of down on the ground. Now the Blues get a lucky bounce. And off at Tuanga Fussy has been able to clean up this ball. The Blues in possession. Big run forward from Lachlan McWonnell. Dalton Papali'i. Couple more metres made there. Taufa Funaki is across to Sam Derry. Funaki again goes to Hoskins. A little pop pass out to Pitafeta. Wide cut out from Zahn Sullivan. Goes over the top of Bryce Heem. Oh no, that's AJ Lamb, sorry, with... No, it is actually Tenuelu Talia. We have got there, what's up, brother? Blessings are from the Central Plateau, brother. Let's go the Blues, says Bear Flavel. Welcome in, mate. Quite the start to the match that the Blues would have been after, but we know how dangerous they can be, and we know how many tries that they have the ability of scoring. It's gone over the top. Nicely taken by Ricky Riccatelli. Quite hard there by Bell. Now Funaki. On across to Sam Derry. Highlanders' defence throughout that first game up against Moana Pacifica was relatively strong, but every once in a while, when Moana Pacifica really put their foot down charging forward, that is when those opportunities arose. Caleb Clark now, long way off his left wing. Manages to drive forward a couple extra metres, but he's lost the ball in the process. He's saying he was tackled, and the penalty does go his way. At the knee down at the time where he did have the ball stripped. And any chance we see Geordie move to the Crusaders. They've joked about it before, but I don't know if it's ever going to actually happen. Like, of course, he would be with his big brother, Scott. But, yeah, I don't know if he'd do it. I feel like at the moment he's very happy with the Hurricanes. Looks like there's already an injury here for one of the Blues players. It might be Lachlan No, it's actually Sam Derry who is down at the moment. Yeah, the ball was ripped out of the hands of Caleb Clark, straight in the ref's face, telling him all about it. I think it was actually the not releasing penalty, though, won by Mark Talia. Good to be back on this channel, says on. It is good to see you here once again. I'm sure you are well and truly behind the Highlanders this week and also throughout the whole competition. We're just seeing here Sam Derry. I think he just gets twisted, I think, just on his way down and straight away gripped that right knee. So whatever it was, must have just been a little bit of a twist. Oh, no, there it is. Yeah, ugh. Okay, I thought that it was the first time. Jermaine Ainsley hit him right on the knee, drove him backwards, and then twisted that knee as he was falling. I would show an example on my arm, but I don't want to accidentally break it. But it didn't look nice for Sam Derry, so he's getting a lot of strapping going on that leg. Already we are seeing the Blues replacement 19 getting ready just in case he has to make his way on the field. And heck yeah, up the Landers. Says a Zion there as well. Sam Derry. Is he going to be all right to continue? He's just having a bit of a chat there. We do see in the Stan Sport commentary box is Morgan Turanui. McTainish. Whose name I think, McIntosh. McTainish? What's his last name? But anyway, Joey Wheeler's in there, is what I was going to say. Hamish, if you're a Blues coach, would you let Caleb Clark kick for the post? No. No, I feel like they've got plenty of other options for a goal kicker rather than Caleb Clark. I think that Caleb Clark, they would much rather he focus on scoring tries and busting through tackles. And by who? Says Jet Lee's. Only 5 minutes in, and it's a little bit of an unfortunate stoppage that we've got at the moment, just while Sam Derry gets back to his feet, and I believe he is going to be all right to continue. Some very heavy strapping on that knee. I'd like to think that they wouldn't make it. Oh, they're going to make him jump straight away. That's pretty rough. That's going to test out the kneecap straight away. But the rolling maul is good for the Blues, sitting 5 metres out from the Highlanders line. Now only about the 4. This is marching nicely. It's gone down in the front, but Ricky Riccatelli busts his way off the side. 3 metres out. Highlanders defence holding up just for now. Have you ever met any of the Barrett brothers? I have not, no. Now around the side, Akiriu Wani gets close to the try line. Now Hoskins Atutu. He's waiting patiently for his opportunity to maybe score again. That's a good flat run from Lachlan McWannell, but he's short now. Mark Dallaire goes round the side. He's got a very good skill of scoring just out from the try line, definitely with those pick and goes. Taufa Funaki, though, searching for that ball in the breakdown. He's been told to use it. It was under Ricky Riccatelli's stomach, and that's very close. Oh, and it's scored. I think that is, in fact, Hoskins Atutu. Yes, it is. He's stretched out his arm. Oh. No, Sam Derry has managed to get there. Hoskins Atutu was lying on his face, so I assume that he had put the ball down. But it was actually Sam Derry that had crossed the chalk. Oh, no, it is Hoskins Atutu. I don't know why they showed Sam Derry for so long there. And better luck next time, Landers. Says Zion. Oh, has he propelled himself forward there? The player's flat then reaches out. This might be called as double movement. Okay, he's lying flat. One movement scored the try. Hoskins Atutu now scores his 3rd of the Super Rugby Pacific season. He's actually sitting right up there in terms of leading try scorers of the comp. Like they've said on the commentary, he did knock on that ball initially that gave the Highlanders their try. Now he's managed to score his own, so he's 1-1. Stephen Petafetta has also missed. He's hit the post and it's come back out. So after 7.5 minutes, the score does remain at 5 points to 5. I have a feeling that this game is going to be a very close one between these two sides. Hang on, we got time off. The changes happening. Sam Derry will be making his way from the field. We've got Kay in the chat from the Lol King. And we all want to see Hamish playing for the All Blacks going up against Cheslin Colby. I can tell you right now that Cheslin Colby would probably beat me in a foot race. I feel like you can make Cheslin Colby do 500. That's a lot. We'll say Cheslin Colby does 50 100-meter sprints, and he'd still beat me in the 51st when that's my first 100-meter sprint against him. He's very fast. In fact, that's probably the case with most international rugby players. If I was to ever go on a sprint with them, that's going to be the penalty to the Blues. That is a very bright yellow that the ref is wearing, says Simran. Oh, believe it or not, after the World Cup, I thought about getting one of those referee kits that were bright yellow. Decided against it because I thought, well, as soon as I put on a referee's kit, I'm going to get a lot more abuse than I normally would. So I thought I would be best just wearing normal clothes. Out of the three Barretts, who is your favourite? Depends on what you look for, you know. If you're looking for someone who's going to get in the breakdowns and really grit and grind it, you got Scott. If you're looking for the flashy boy or the poster child, that would have to be Bowden. And then you got Geordie, who's a bit bigger and also just a bit more willing to run the ball as a back and crash into the line and use his size. Hamish, why don't you become a ref? Because I like not getting death threats, or not many of them anyway. So that's normally a good idea. You also hear of all the amateur refs getting punched in the head, which isn't that intriguing or enticing to want to become a referee. Now, Stephen Petafeta looking for the cross kick. Was Mark Talia offside? He might have been, but it's gone out on the full anyway. So they will now go back for the original line out. And that referee looks like the sun with that brightness shining right on him, the touch judge. And man, take the W. Man, take the W. And this will be huge for the Landers, says Zion, if they were able to win. That is nicely taken. Our most underrated ref. That's a tricky one because I think most refs have had their off days before. Like, I know that people would disagree. Beautiful offload. Jonah Nariki, ball on the outside. Jacob Ratamata-Buki Nipkins scores the try for the Highlanders. And that is the kind of counter-attack that you expect to see from these two sides. Just straight back into the action. And just like that, the Highlanders up against his old side. Jacob Ratamata-Buki Nipkins does score the try. Yes, the Landers, says Spanks there. Yeah, the Landers, and hope you get 1 mil, man, says it a locking. But brilliant offload from Reece Patchell. He's really looking like a good talent, and Highlanders turning around back in our prime, says Zion. We'll tell you what, they've got a brilliant squad at the moment, that is for sure. And that is a offload of class by Reece Patchell. And just to be able to get that offload away. Ho-ho, says the Lol King. I think you're missing one if you're trying to be Santa. He's got a nice beard. It is very shaped. And then you look at the guy next to him, Tenuelo Talia, who's got the biggest mullet of the competition, I would say. Giving Thomas Isherwood a run for his money in the sevens, who I assume most people don't actually know who that is. So probably a bit of a niche reference. Let's get the kick over. Sam Gilbert will have to determine that. And he's missed. Just away to the right-hand side. It was drifting back, slightly touched the post. I'm not Santa. No way. Nice wide pass. Out to Jakarata Nipkins. And our man says, although it's still a 5-point lead for the Highlanders. I don't think many people were anticipating that after such a short amount of time in this matchup. But they've really stepped up a time when they needed to. But Zahn Sullivan now starting to run this one back for the Blues. They're such a strong counter-attacking team. Normally when they concede, they get the try straight back. We saw that in the preseason games up against the Japanese sides. They do not like conceding. And we're normally able to get it straight back. And up the Landers, will Jordan be available for Autumn Nations? I don't think so. I think he's still going to be out or he might be right at the end, may be available. Hey, your brother Highlanders got this. Says Marco, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well. Now, Mark Delia, round the side of the breakdown, taken down well by Max Hicks. To the left-hand side, there has to be offside for Pari Parkinson. I think he just jumped the gun a little bit. Big shot coming in now. Brilliant defence from the Highlanders. Blues having to take this one to the air. Caleb Clark unable to claim it, and instead Tavaofi, Nawai. He's been tackled by his own teammate, Reece Patchell, who almost knocked himself silly. Been told to release it. Not sure why Caleb Clark was lifting someone's leg. About 15 metres out from their own line, and they will now go for the box kick. Allow Fakatava, the man, to do this one. Or they might actually put it back. Yes, they do, into the pocket. Reece Patchell now. Decent amount of distance, about 32 metres out from the line now. Now, am I the only one who thinks Reece Patchell looks very similar to James Blackwell of the Hurricanes? Well, there, you'll definitely be a good commentator, brother. Put a video package together and send it in. Says Bear, although I think I've got to be an ex-rugby player in terms of like Super Rugby or All Blacks to even get remotely a chance of commentating for the New Zealand games. A nice attack and run from Caleb Clark, taken down low by Tamofi Nawai. Funaki goes across the Ofa Toinga Fasi. And Batchwell and Blackwell do look alike, says Marco there. Like, I think if you put Hika on Patchell and you stuck him on a stool so that they were the same height, you'd think they were twins. Nice run from AJ Lamb. Almost breaking through. Oscars Atutu out wide to Stephen Perafeta. Good driving tackle in by Jonah Nariki. Almost playing the halfback. There was Patchell. Dalton Papali'i receives the pass. Around the side, Mark Talia. Looked close to a knock on, but I believe he just managed to regather it. Marcel Renata trying to hold. Taniwelu Talia into the breakdown. Referee saw it straight away. Back across to the left-hand side now for Lachlan McWannell, but over the ball there. Not quite the turnover. The Highlanders been very, I guess, busy in the breakdowns, trying to cause disruption and also trying to get that all-important turnover after 10 phases in a row here. Going close. Hoskins Atutu, 3 metres out, but the turnover is good for the Highlanders. There was the knock-on the ground. I give Richie a call. Maybe he'll give you a reference. Says Simran. Counter-attacking chance for Jonah Nariki. And a good kick downfield. Almost into the half for the Blues. That is a tremendous one from Jonah Nariki. Who are you going for, says Lachlan? I just hope it's a good high-scoring game. And so far, it has not disappointed. We've only had 15 minutes of action. And we've had 15 points on the board. If this continues at this rate, we're going to see 80 points in this game. And no boast, born and bred. I go the Blues, says Naz Williams. Now the line out here for the Blues. Ricky Riccatelli throws that one in, nicely taken by Lachlan McWannell again. And that Petrol looks like a good fit for the Landers. I got some silky hands there, fella. Yeah, brilliant try assist just before to Jacko Ratamoitavuki Nepkins. Yeah, he just seems very calm in that number 10 jersey, which is good because they do need a strong 10. And they've had some decent options before. That's going to be the penalty to the Blues. They will be just inside of the half. Lost their bind at rolling more up the Landers, says Matty Jade. And also that Petrol. Oh no, I read that one, didn't I? Simran, don't cry, don't be sad. Lol, says the Lol King. I mean, she's got a laughing face. I don't think she'll be that sad. She's also a Highlander supporter and they're in the league. Who do you think will win? I predict the Blues, which I know is not popular in some regards, but at the end of the day, they were favourites going into this contest. I think that they've had a little bit of a rough patch throughout the start of this game. That's not to discount anything that the Highlanders have been able to do already. And I love every area of Aotearoa as well. No ego, love to all Aotearoa, says Naz Williams. It sounds like they are going with the 6-man line out here, and favourites are disappointing so far, says Zion. They are in this game, although in the opening round, every single favourite won. So they did pretty well in that that round of the competition. Now Mark Talia around the side of the breakdown trying to burst through, but Hugh Renton has stopped him in his tracks. Taufa Funaki goes back across to Hoskin Satutu. Got up to 10 phases earlier on. Peter Feta to the way to Zahn Sullivan. Not held, so he's able to go again. Gets within 10 metres. Some good strength shown. Deceptive strength, and that is a turnover for Timothy Tavatava. Now why? Oh, a little bit of push and shove there. Caleb Clark having a shot at Falau Fakatava. It seemed like a little bit of frustration amongst two men who might find themselves in the same squad. A nice live because you made me time out, says the Log King. Now Reece Patchell or James Blackwell Jr. Well, I think he's older than James Blackwell. And even on Earth, that one has not missed, or sorry, that one has missed touch. So now Mark Daly able to run the ball back. Tackled early by Henry Bell. Back to the left-hand side. Here comes Caleb Clark. And Falau Fakatava's got another push in the back, this time from a Kiriwani. I don't know what Fakatava's done. He's obviously annoyed quite a few of the Blues players. Another penalty advantage. Goes back to Stephen Petafeta. Passes to the left-hand side to Mark Daly. They're doing extremely well to tie up his legs early. As soon as you do that, you take away that stepping game. If you try and tackle Mark Daly too high, just slips and slides away from your challenge. It's going to be for offside here. Number 4, that'll be Putty Parkinson, never back on side. So he's taking a few deep breaths here as well. Parkinson. Dalton Pavali's got a decision to make. And they will go for the 3 points, deciding to slow it down a little bit, get themselves within a 3-point margin. They're talking about Caleb Clark losing 9 kgs in the off-season. Please don't put me on timeout or I'll unsubscribe. Says the Lol King. I didn't realise anyone put you on timeout. The Lol King. Marco, no knives on the hob. Oh, we will go like this. Now 20 minutes in, Stephen Petafeta has got that kick over. That'll now make the score after 20 minutes, 8 points to 10. The underdog is in the lead at the moment, but the favourites will fight back. 9 kgs, damn, says Naz Williams. I think the odds will change quite a bit though. If half time comes around and Highlanders are still in the lead. Nice work from Hoskin Satutu. Charging back forward. It's about every team in our or on our country, but when the Landers are playing, and no bruh, says Locking, I still don't know why I'm supposed to be sad. Mark Dalia goes away to Taufa Funaki, going off to the left-hand side here now for the Blues. Taufa Funaki back to Petafeta. I thought you were going to put me timeout, says the Lol King. Oh, good shot from Caleb Clark, timing it on Ratamaita Buki Nepkins. The ball goes free. The Highlanders trying to clean this one up. Taufa Funaki has knocked that ball on, although referee says that it's gone back. So will we play on for the Blues now in attack? Zahn Sullivan, numbers on the right-hand side. Rush defence from Sam Gilbert trying to shut it down. Now Bryce Hen goes for the kick in behind. There is no one chasing though for the Blues. Patchell forces it down. It's like, or is this like Magic Round in the NRL? Like, is all the games being played in Melbourne this weekend? They certainly are, yep. So every game taking place at AAMI Park. I don't know if they'll get more than 10,000 for any fixture. Like, in this game, I want to say we've probably got like 7,000 watching or something along those lines, which would be nice to see that number go up a lot, seeing as that was the point of the Super Round. It was supposed to be to try and give Melbourne a little bit more rugby union rather than league. And good man, Mako, I hear you. Kids first now, try to be a better role model, lol. And go the Chiefs too, says Nars Williams here. They got the big game up against the Brumbies around the corner. We will be covering that one on the channel as well. Now, Taufa Funaki. Run forward again, Kiriwani. Oh, it's dropped cold by Ricky Riccatelli, picked up cleanly by the Highlanders, and now the counter-attack. Tanialu Talia kicks it in behind, so it will be advantage over some brilliant pace being shown by Jacob Ratamoita, Buki Nepkins, but Peter Fitter is there, partially charged down by the Highlanders. Full back, hang on. Did he not charge that down? I swear he got a bit of a touch on that one. Go the Landers. There's Christopher Dixon there. I thought he got a bit of a hand on that one. But it is going to be a Highlanders line out now. Or is it? They're just going to show a replay now. Yeah, we didn't get to actually see it in that replay. But the Highlanders being able to claim that one. Pari Parkinson doing well. A lot of pressure on Henry Bell. The Landers 22 metres out. Yes. Oh, yeah, you ran because you saw C. Haha lol run. Good. Now short side Fakatava sells the dummy. It's almost going to be tackling a man without the ball. And the Highlanders players nailed in a shot when he was waiting for that next pass. Hugh Renton hits it up to 10 metres out. I'm confused. You're not the only one. Because that sentence hurt my brain on multiple levels. Now Sam Gilbert not quite able to sneak his way through. And there. Oh, going back for the original penalty. Number 1 white, that is Ofa Tuangafasi, who has been penalised. Jacob Ratuvak Napi, Landon's fullback, is playing real well. Says Marco. Yeah, Jacob's probably the easiest way of saying his name. It's very hard to spell, that is for sure. Like I mentioned, Tavatava Nawai and Ratamaita Vuki Nepkins, probably the longest combination of last names that we will see across a 14 and a 15. Out on the other wing, Nareki's pretty short, so that's nice and easy. Now going for the corner here, the Highlanders. They don't want to extend their lead by only 3 pointers. They know how crucial it is to score 7s and 5s. They haven't got a 7 as of yet, but they got 2 5s for their troubles. Great rolling ball defence by the Blues, managing to force it backwards, and I think Lachlan McWannell's come straight through the middle there. He's got him in the rear naked choke. I think he might have to tap here if he gets it any tighter. Number 2, penalty advantage. That is against Ricky Riccatelli. Now little kick him behind from Fakatava. Sits up for Reece Patchell. And the Highlanders have their 3rd try of the contest. What are the odds now? Because they are playing a much better game of rugby than we are seeing from the Blues. The Highlanders are still $3.20 underdogs. That's about to change, though, I would say, when we see those points register. And yes, says Zion. And also we're going to move up the Landers, says Simran there as well. But Reece Patchell scoring the try. Highlanders still $2.40 underdogs. Sorry, $2.30 underdogs in this match. The Blues still favourites. I would not have them as current favourites in this match. I would say that the Highlanders have done enough throughout these opening 26 minutes to make me think that maybe they could walk away with the victory. And good evening, Hammy. I just got home from work. How's my Blues doing? Not great, I'll be honest. Like, they haven't been bad in this match, other than their discipline and the handling. That's been the main thing. Their attacking games look relatively solid. They have already scored the 1 try of Hoskins Satutu, and Landers proven New Zealand wrong, says Zion. Sam Gilbert lining up this kick. He's currently 0 from 2, and now he is 0 from 3. He's hit the post again, and that only gives them the 7-point lead. They're making their comeback, says Simran and Fakatava. They're bleached here. Has learnt well off Aaron Smith. And yeah, he's going to have a big opportunity this season to not just step up for the Highlanders, but also to step up for the All Blacks if he does end up receiving that call. I don't know. Have you found some like narcotics. The Lol King or something. Simran versus me. Simran Rana. I have no idea what's going on. Fakatava's here, always sexy. That's the comment from Nazi Williams, I should mention, not myself. And then also how he played so well against Moana. Says Zion also give the kicking duties to Reece Patchell. Northern Hemisphere dudes are better than Kiwis kicking for goal. That's going to be nicely taken by Lachlan McWannell. Now going off to the left-hand side. Stephen Petafetta inside ball to Mark Talia. Up to Alpha Funaki. Passes in behind to Stephen Petafetta. A little chip in behind. Jack Rata Matabuki Nepkins is able to take that one. Gets around Sullivan and Sotutu. Eventually gets him down. Gilbert has to play half-back. Ooh, that was a bit high for him off at doing a fussy. And yes, he was ducking down, but it was still contact round the neck. Now Reece Patchell. Good distance on it. Sullivan goes across to the right-hand side. For the 50-22, but Patchell is back there. And it does put the ball into touch. How old is Reece Patchell? Reece Patchell. Rugby union player, he is... Oh, he's 30. Okay, so he's a little bit older. He's at the last Rugby World Cup for the Welsh. And let's go the Blues. Says Lizette, welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. Currently the Blues. Oh, what a cross kick. Caleb Clark just claiming that one. Look for the offload to Zahn Sullivan. But just dropped it behind him. Still in possession of the Blues. Tava Nawai has lost his footing. So isn't able to take that ball. Off at Toanga Fasi. Let's get it back to Taufa Funaki again. Marcel Renata. Phase play so far has gone to the Blues, but that is only because the Highlanders, each time they've tried to put phases together, the Blues end up with that line break and Highlanders score. Picked up by Mark Dallaire, but it was a knock-on on the ground. AJ Lamb this time, the man who has dropped the ball. Scott Robinson watching on. Oh, it's the shadow. I thought he was rocking a rat's tail, Scott Robinson. Watching this game, I'm sure he's thoroughly impressed with what he is seeing. And it's actually the perfect location in a way for a coach, because you get to see every single game all taking place from the same stadium. You know what you're getting into. I think the Lol King's a bit confused about something. But, oh, James Ryan also there with him. They're actually going to talk to Jason Ryan at halftime, they've just said. In there. Looking straight into the sun, Scott Robinson probably could have got a seat on the shady side of the ground. Our scrum feed. This is actually our first scrum of this contest. It's been 30 minutes. Angus Gardner telling him to hurry up, get the scrum set. It's taken a huge amount of time. I mentioned about the two off the bench. It's actually going to be the early penalty to the Highlanders at scrum time. I think that was a bit of pre-engagement from the Blues. For Toanga Fasi, just asking the question of what that one was for. He's annoyed off at Toanga Fasi. The Blues' discipline is definitely the factor that is hurting them the most here at this point in time. And unless that starts slowing down a little bit more, could actually end up in a very tricky position. Well, we will go like this. And we will go like this as well. There we go. Now Bell. Are you trying to say my name can be a joke? Like, that's so original. I used to get don't sim walk sim run. Good play on words. 8 minutes remaining. Rolling ball's good so far for the Highlanders, and that will be another penalty advantage in their favour. Now Falau Pakatava sells the dummy, gets it away to Gilbert, who's being tested on defence throughout the first 32 minutes of this game. Pakatava goes across to the right-hand side. Reece Patchell goes through, finds the offload. It's stolen by Bryce Heem, so they will go back for the original penalty. We've got the AAMI show. I'm coming back from my dad's house, then doing live stream when I get home, says Brandon. So I assume that would be for the Rebels versus Western Force. Of course, that is the other game that has taken place later on tonight. Do you love a good pun there, Hamish? Oh, I do love a good pun. Even the ones that aren't good. There's Samrani laughed, Samrani laughed. No, but the thing is, I didn't laugh at your one, the lol king. I think I laughed at the other one. And there goes our grand saviour, sorry, Razor. And the crowds with his AB coaching cronies. And the Highlanders look like they are actually going to take on the 3 points here, and it will be Reece Patchell who does now get the kicking tee. They've decided Gilbert is not kicking them well, which is fair enough, 0 from 3, none of which have been extremely difficult. Well, we will go like this. And Ava said, "Hi, is she diving?" Oh, sorry, she'll be driving, I think that is, rather than diving. Unless you've got a pool in your car, in which case, that's a bit of fun. And maybe better than Foz and his son. But all respect to Foz and his son. Says, it was there from Nars Williams. Reece Patchell, he's now missed. Unfortunately for the Highlanders, they are 0 from 4 off the kicking tee today. It's gone straight down the middle. Yeah, nah, if Foz and his son, I'll never give those two. Although they got to the fight. Oh, that's a big shot from Zahn Sullivan. Did he wrap his arms? That's probably the big question. I think at the moment he's got someone in a guillotine choke. I think that was Hugh Renton was having a bit of a tussle with him. They might have to check that one. Make sure it's all right. Now Caleb Clark, the one, was driving in to make the big tackles. The low one made on Jermaine Ainsley. Cross kick, that's a late shot from Lachlan McWannell as well. The Blues have decided if they can't win this game by doing what they normally do, they're going to get a little bit scrappy. Your work is done. Oh, you will work after this live stream. Also, I do still have 2 videos that I have to edit after this live stream, as well as setting up everything for tomorrow. Oh, big shot. Oh, hit him right there. Tight half, says Midi. There is a chance that it will be tied. It looked like an NRL tackle. Of course, we are in Melbourne. A big shot coming in from Zahn Sullivan. The Highlanders win. Won't be salty on that. Oh, Marco. And there as well. Five minutes remaining in this half. We got another stoppage here. I believe that was for the original advantage in favour of the Highland. Oh, no, in fact, it was kicked into touch, I think, by the Blues after that misconversion. Jermaine Ainsley now getting a little bit of medical attention. I think Joey Wheeler at the moment is just massaging Morgan Turanui, as you do, I guess, who's missing for the Blues. Rico Ioane. Other than him, really not too many, to be honest. Like this is actually one of their strongest lineup. But it just seems to be that at the moment they haven't quite been able to get it right. Looks like Paddy Parkinson now going off the field. That will be for Holland. Where's Rico? I don't think he's got an injury. I think he was just being rested. I think you love this Puma t-shirt, wearing it always in live streams. Fun fact, I have multiple of them. So I do change them, which is good. I do wash them. Off of Unaki. Inside ball from Bryce Heem back to Ricky Riccatelli. Around the side, Tofa Funaki. Taken down again now nicely. And Landers better keep getting tries, says Simran. And back to the right-hand side. Stephen Petafeta. Skip past to Mark Talia. Big fend on him. Moving to 15 metres out from the line. Pass back by Funaki. They're back outside of the 22 now. Ricky Riccatelli already getting another penalty advantage. Are the Blues? Discipline for both of these sides has been a little bit poor in the first half. Bryce Heem tries to step. Taken down by Tinielu Talia and Timothy Tavatavanawai. They go to the short side, seeing as Tavatavanawai was drawn into that last tackle. Now Funaki going back to the right again. Marcel Renata tries to make his way just that little bit closer to the try line, 10 metres out. Another penalty advantage, 9 phases in a row. Kiriwani, 5 metres out. Back to Petafeta, switching the direction. Reaches, no, he doesn't quite reach out. Now around the side, AJ Lamb thought he was going to be able to just go over. Doesn't manage to do so. Now Hoskins Atuta goes back to Tolfa Funaki. Round the side, he slams the ball down and does manage to get the try for the Blues. This could be 15-15 going into halftime, ladies and gents. Melbourne at the moment, they are getting a bit of a exciting contest for the opening round game of round 2 in the Super Round. This one's anything to judge. I think we're going to have some very awesome games. Of course, later on tonight, Rebels versus the Western Force will be taking place then. Alongside that one moment, there we go. Tomorrow will be Moana Pacifica versus the Fijian Drua. Crusaders taking on the Waratahs. Chiefs versus Brumbies and Hurricanes versus Reds both taking place on the Sunday, which we will be covering on the channel, ladies and gents. So be sure, if you haven't already, to smack that like button, as all the cool YouTubers would say. Come on, Defence Landers. To be fair, the Blues have got long arms, which I think is what we're taking out of this, because both of their tries, they've reached out and just been able to get over. Chiefs Brumbies a cracker, says Josh. Yeah, I think that Sunday's going to be the pick of the games. Chiefs versus Brumbies should be outstanding. Hurricanes versus Reds, I think it's going to be extremely high standings, or sorry, high scoring. And those bets written in dollars, highest means less chance or more. So the higher the dollar, the less the chances that they win, if that makes sense. Did Caleb Clark score the second versus the Blues? Caleb Clark is a member of the Blues, but he did not know. It was Tolfa Funaki. You seem to have long arms. Would you do the same? No, probably not. If I try and reach out my arm, they kind of pop. So, yeah, I'll probably dislocate a shoulder just trying to score a try. Harry Potter in the force, he certainly is. Trying to add some magic to their backline. He's so probably sick of that pun. Highlanders looking to counter straight back with 2 minutes remaining in this first half. Onto the ball for Lachlan McWennell. And he's got the turnover, but the pressure is on Caleb Clark, only 2 metres out from the try line. And it's back in favour. Long arms, Green Lantern, says Spotted Mick. And also, King, please respect the mothers. We love our mums here, says Mako Vunapola. Certainly do. Had my mum on a live stream before. Not recently. I have to get her on a cricket one. I think that is a knock-on from the Blues. Only 5 metres out from the line. They were trying to set it up. Judy calling your kid Harry Potter. Although it is. But he was actually born about 3 months or 6 months, I think it was, before the first book of Harry Potter was written. So he isn't actually named after the movies and the books. We did actually do some research of that when he was playing for the Leicester Tigers, because, yeah, I was curious. But, yeah, he was actually born just before the books came out. So his parents named him, and then J.K. Rowling was like, yeah, we'll go with that. Makes me wonder if there's many Ron Weasleys in the world. Probably. Though Weasley's probably not as common of a last name as Potter. We have get there, bad luck then. Yeah, it's a bit unlucky, isn't it? It's a blessing and a curse, you could say. Have been told that they are able to use it 25 metres out, 25 seconds remaining in the half, only now 5 metres out from the line. The Highlanders, Tanielu Talia drops the shoulder, trying to break through, but brilliant driving tackle made there by the Blues defence, and AJ Lamb, Ethan de Groot, the big Southland boy. He's had his knees taken out from underneath him, and he's knocked that ball on. He did original Den, says Nazi Williams. He is indeed back into the pocket. Stephen Petafeta, what are you doing? Oh, he thought, tell you what, he's just caused a massive gap to open up because the Blues were thinking. The Highlanders assumed that the ball was going into touch, so they halfway made their way from the field, and now the Blues have moved only 15 metres out. It's going to be back offside penalty against Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins, or at least the advantage. That is one of the sneakiest plays that we have seen throughout Super Rugby Pacific so far. Oh, double blow of the whistle. It's going to be a yellow card to Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins. Like I mentioned, the Highlanders had the Blues inside of their own in-goal area, so they assumed that they weren't going to run it, that they were going to kick it into touch. Then Petafeta saw a massive gap, and when I'm going to run through that, they made 80 metres, getting the opposition a yellow card, and now with a perfect opportunity to either take the lead by 3 or maybe by more if they kick for the corner, which is exactly what the Blues are going to do. And that's the kind of attacking urgency that you need to have. Come on, the Blues, says Josh. Like they've just said, not many players don't kick that ball out when you're inside of your own in-goal area. It was great cover defence from Jonah Nareki to just keep that pressure on. How long will the yellow card last? 10 minutes. That's how long he will be off the field for. Nicely claimed by Lachlan McWannell. This is a massive turning point in this game. It's going to be going down. Highlanders have got the new penalty advantage against them. It's for collapsing the maul. If only we could hit our kicks, but no, 0 from 3. 0 from 4, in fact. Oh, sorry, yeah, 0 from 4. They missed a conversion and the penalty. That is a try, though, to the Blues. Brilliant work from Stephen Petafeta. That is a bit of class from him. That has now led to the Blues taking the lead at halftime. Does that count during the halftime or not? So it will count during these minutes. So the 2 that we've passed by, like, going past the 40-minute mark do count towards that yellow card. But, yeah, you still have another 7 minutes or so. Go the Highlanders from Timaru, says Sean. I'm going to be in Timaru tomorrow. Fun fact. And, yeah, Jinx, says Nars Williams. Mark Talia bulldozes his way over for the Blues. Got the grounding scoreboard, Hammy, says Spider Mix. So the score at halftime is now going to be sitting 22 points to 15. Highlanders have gone from having that good lead to just letting it slip a little bit. The kick is over. It's now going to make the score 22 points to 15 at halftime. I believe that will change the odds. Interesting. Kicking off Super Round in Melbourne with a thrilling contest. We've already seen a lot of points being scored, 37 to be exact. Now the question is whether or not these two sides can continue scoring at this rate during the second 40 minutes, or whether it does slow down that little bit more. But anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. You all being here for this contest. Let's go the Blues, says Freddie Simon. That's better, says Spider Mick in there as well. But yeah, they've got 105 metres to score that try, which is massive. But the metres gained throughout the half, the Blues have got the advantage there. 238 metres gained for the Blues compared to the 172 gained by the Highlanders. 11 defenders beaten for both of these sides. We've seen clean breaks, 2 in favour of the Blues, 1 in favour of the Highlanders. And then also in terms of the defensive stats, we have seen the Highlanders have to make 146 tackles. That's a lot, but like I mentioned, the Blues are putting together phase play, whereas when the Highlanders have scored, that is because the Blues defence have left a gap that has then been exploited by this Highlanders side. But yeah, 146 tackles made, only missing 14, so tackling at about a 90% rate at the moment. The Blues, they have made 40 tackles, they have missed 11. So they have actually only tackled at a 75% tackle completion throughout that half, which does explain why the Highlanders, when they did score their tries, were able to get through so easily. We've seen 5 penalties against the Blues. Against the Highlanders. And they have also had that 1 yellow card of Jacob Ratamaitavuki Nepkins. 4 against the Blues. Though that was all pretty much back to back to back in that middle patch. I wonder what's going through Razor's head right now. Well, we spoiled for choice here, boys. Says George. Says Marco, and also go the Blues. Says Gatai. What's the crowd like? It's not good, unfortunately. I think that they've probably got maybe at an absolute stretch 10,000. But there's a lot of empty seats. Hopefully that still keeps on filling up for the Rebels game a little bit later on tonight. Tawatama Nawai, the pick of the players for the Highlanders in terms of metres made, managed to make 34, beating 3 defenders along the way. Also, 31 metres made by Jonah Nareki, so it's a good day to be out on the wing when it comes to those metres made. Same can be said about Mark Talia. He's had the most metres made out of any player on the field. He has managed to make 52, scoring a try and also beating 5 defenders. 49 metres carried for Stephen Petafeta, 49 metres carried for Hoskin Satutu, both men beating the 2 defenders, but Satutu has managed to get himself the 1 try. I think our old mate Ben Smith is part of the coaching group. Now that's a good brain to have behind you in it, says Marco. Yeah, he certainly is part of that coaching panel, I guess you could say, for the Highlanders. Speaking of the Highlanders, tackle stats, 17 tackles made by Hugh Renton, winning 2 turnovers. So a very impressive start for that man. 17 tackles made by Ethan de Groot, 16 made by Jermaine Ainsley, and 16 made by Pari Parkinson. In fact, no, sorry, he's only made 6, 16 made by Max Hicks. It's been very solid as well. Most tackles made by any Blues player was Ofa Tuangafasi with just these 6. And when's the LA 7-star Hemi? It is tomorrow, taking place at 3:54 p.m. New Zealand time is when that one is going to be starting. We won't actually be able to cover too much of day 1 personally, but we will still have a live stream up on the channel with someone else covering those matches as they take place. And then day 2, we are straight into all the action for the 7s competition. Will the Blues or the All Blacks have put Rico on the wing? I don't think the Blues will. I think they've got too much talent to be out on the wing. The fact that Caleb Tangitau is also not playing in this game tells us that they are stacked for choices out wide. AJ Lamb could play out on the wing if he needed to, rather than Rico Ioane. So I don't think we will see it anytime soon. Maybe for the All Blacks, though. You know, Rico and Geordie are our centre partnership for the next 4 years. There's Marco, and good game of rugby. Highlanders should be ahead, but the Blues have taken their chances. There's Rabic and there as well. And of course, the tackle stats. 140 plus tackles made by the Highlanders. That has really got to hurt you in terms of that gas tank. And also the fact that they were so close. They were close to being in the lead at halftime, but then just conceding too many tries late. We have got there, no disrespect. What's that name? Paru. So it is Pari Parkinson. So P-A-R-I Parkinson. And I wonder if Razor will want Rico to add some muscle conditioning the size of international centres nowadays. Maybe. And Papa Lee playing Hammy, never heard his name. He is, but yeah, he's been extremely quiet. Hasn't been one of the leading tacklers for the Blues. Maybe made 5 tackles along the way, but yeah, there's been a lot more of that back line. Kiriwani, don't think we said that man too much either, in fact. And there's a few guys that haven't had huge first halves, but in the second 40 pats, that is when we see them really start to step up. But 91% tackle completion for the Highlanders. And I didn't mean that, says Naz Williams. Scrums won 100% and 0% for the Blues. That is because we only got to see 1 scrum throughout the first half. Now, I will mention, normally when I say we had a really limited half in terms of scrums, that is when we see a whole heap more scrums. So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case here, and instead we do see a lot of free-flowing rugby, not too many line-outs. Territory and possession both in favour of the Blues here, but we've seen 3 tries scored by both of these teams. The Highlanders, they have managed to get themselves the 3 tries in the form of, first of all, they did get the early try of Sean Withy. Then there was the try of, it was Jacob Ratamaitabuki Nepkins. And then near the end of the half, we saw the try being scored by Reese Patchell. Then for the Blues, of the tries that we have seen in this game, we did see a try scored by Hoskins Tutu. We also saw a try scored by Mark Talia. And then the last try, to refresh my brain, but I think it was, who was it? Who scored the last try? I think it might have been out wide, was it? Might have been Caleb Clark. And, well, aren't we here again? 7 points down coming into the second half. And Freaky Rico has bigger calves than Artie Savia, says Marco. I haven't really looked close enough at Rico Ioane's calf to comment, to be honest. The other try, by the way, for the Blues was scored by Tolfa Funaki rather than Caleb Clark. I couldn't actually remember who it was, but now that I've read that, I remember it was on this left-hand side. Managed to put that ball down. Looks like they're having like a croquet competition between Super Rugby Pacific players. Right, we will go like this. Like this, like this. And like this as well. Anyone who's wondering what I'm doing, currently we're trying to find one more player for our cricket tomorrow. So I will quickly have to message someone, but I'm still going to be on the live stream, of course. We're waiting for the second half to get underway, so it's probably the best time that it could have happened. Where is he? I hate typing because I forget to talk, and that takes a lot of multitasking skills, and unfortunately I can't multitask. Well, not very well anyway. Here we go. And are they playing yet, or did I make it back in time? So they are still half-time. They're talking about croquet at the moment. So, yeah, I don't know much about croquet, and Smash has plenty of beers down at the local. I reckon the top men sort out the TMO Hemi, not to interfere too much. Yeah, this game's been quite good. How about George? Bet he could smash a few sixes. He hasn't played a lot of cricket in his time. Oh, George, in fact, he's hardly ever played cricket. Free says Fluffy. Aren't you, like, in Australia, Fluffy, though? A little bit far away. And radiation burns hurt like a mofo, says Novmum. Well, hopefully they do get a little bit better for yourself, Novmum, soon. If you're excited to see the Chiefs in action, taking on the Brumbies a little bit later on. I'm not going to read that one, Marco, even though it's your second time trying it. Halftime feels like 30 minutes nowadays, says Josh. Yeah, it does feel like it's a lot longer than it used to be. Like, I used to feel like it was like 10 or 5 minutes, but it's actually, it gets closer to that 15 mark, which I think they've been off at the moment for maybe about 12 or so minutes. Well, we will go like this, and like this as well. 9 p.m. New Zealand time, halftime, take too long. It does feel like a long time. Are you good all right, brother? Says Marco. Now they're trying to sell me a ute. Don't think I would drive a ute. Not very well anyway. Second half. We're waiting for it. We've done all the stats that took place in that first half. We've pretty much read off everything about that first half. Now we're waiting to see whether or not Highlanders can get back into it. The thing is, they aren't doing too badly. They've scored 3 tries. Theoretically, they convert all their tries and the penalty that they attempted. That'd actually be 24 points to 22 up. Oh yeah, who scored for the Landers? Sean Withy, also Reece Patchell and Jacob Ratamaitabuki Netkins. They know you don't have a car? Maybe. Although now they're advertising food, or they were at least before, so I think they're trying to get me to buy food as well. So they know me too well. Yeah, what up, people? Says Banter Blaze. Welcome in, mate. We are doing extremely well. And for anyone wondering about who scored the tries for the Blues, in the end we did see the tries for Hoskins Tutu, Taufa Funaki, and also Mark Talia right at the end of the first half. How sad am I? Blues all day. I hope the Landers win. Says Naz Williams. Now, stats-wise, the Blues did have the advantage pretty much across the whole board. So only really the tackle stat the Highlanders did end up winning. But we'll see whether or not that continues in the second half, because if they do continue to tackle as much as they did in the last half, they will get fatigued. Will be a very hard half to keep the pace for. Bring back Buck. Says Freddie Simon. He might be getting a little bit up there in age. Come back. Is that for the Blues or the Highlanders? Who are you putting them on? The Highlanders, seeing as they are down. And great thank you, and yourself. Says Pazza Blaze. I'm doing all right. Half time feels like it's been an eternity, though. Is the only thing. Bring back Stag. Says Fluffy. Oh, teams are back out on the field, ladies and gents. We are getting extremely close. Oh, says Freddie. I brought me a Fuga V6 yesterday, AAMI 36K. Dad, Mum, help. Says Spider Mix. So hopefully it does go all right for you. Well, we all go like this. And like that as well. So, odds-wise, the Blues are now favourites because of the tries. And $8.50 underdogs for the Highlanders here. Am I the only one who feels like that is way too low? Or not low, but like that's way too harsh on them? I feel like they haven't played that bad throughout this game. Okay, the Highlanders have lost their last 16 games up against New Zealand opposition, so maybe it's a reasonable kind of odd for them there. And come on, the Landers there as well. Now the Blues, they will be kicking off from left to right to get the second half underway. It's going to be slapped back nicely. Taufa Funaki going off to the right-hand side to Marcel Renata. It's always based on history most time. Says Naz Williams. And come on, the Landers, what did you do? Or do what you did in the first 20. But for the whole second half, and already the Blues are passing it out wide to AJ Lamb, moving up to the 22. And we've got to remember, the other side of things is the Highlanders are only playing with 14 men on the field currently due to that yellow card that was received right at the end of the first half. Oh, it's knocked on loose and taken back by the Highlanders. That was Sean Withy, who has already had a very good game of rugby. Oh, Stephen Petafetta on the halfway line, tackled low by Max Hicks. Bit of a counter-ruck coming in there from the Highlanders. And back across to the left-hand side, Kiriwani. A low tackle made on him by the replacement Fabian Holland. And Renton actually off the field for Broughton, which is another change the Highlanders have decided to make. Tuangafasi is off the field for Josh Fusitua. And damn, missed first half, my bad, owner, says Mr. Orland. No worries at all. Currently a very close one between these two sides. Will the Landers kit change since Otago Uni has a new brand? Oh, that was a big shot on Reece Patchell's jaw. Not sure. I assume maybe that's going to be knocked backwards by a Kiriwani. Then it also fits quite nicely at the moment up top above the shoulders, doesn't it? So they might not want to change it. In fact, they probably won't. Mainly because it would be a lot of effort to change a brand logo on a shirt halfway through. Thanks for the gift chat. Says Mr. Orlin, now going off to the right-hand side of Kiriwani. Quick hands out wide to Dalton Papali for one of his first touches. Now Bryce Eam got a Kiriwani on his inside. Big shot from Fakatava. I don't know how much there was an arm involved in that one. Now Ricky Riccatelli, 10 metres out from the try line. Josh Fusi Tua. This will be his first chance. Round the side, Hoskin Satudu gets another try. They'll be more than $8.50 underdogs now. I can tell you that. But Hoskin Satudu crossing the try line. 27 points to 15. Struggling defensively. And come on, defence landers. Says Simran there. And I have the Blues winning in my Super Brew. But I hope the Landers win, says Pads Ablaze. And maybe their chances have just dwindled that little bit more. Of course, they are playing with only the 14 men on the field. That sexy Fakatava here couldn't stop that. And that's once again said by Naz Williams, not myself. There's the game. Landers fullback, yellow card, stuffed their momentum. And yeah, unfortunately, they just kind of fell asleep, the Highlanders. They thought that they were going to kick the ball into touch, being the Blues. Stephen Petafetta said, nah, we're going to actually run this. And just caused all sorts of problems for them. Bonus points says, Pretty and damn up the Blues. Looks like Landers played their 80 already, Hamish. I mean, they made 150 tackles almost throughout that first half. So fatigue is going to hurt you big time. And that is pretty much exactly what we have seen here. Work from Hoskin Satudu. He has now scored 4 tries throughout the Super Rugby Pacific competition. Give it to Maitavuki. Nepkins just has to look on. There's been 2 tries scored since he made his way from the field. And I hope boats make sense. So the whole front row now is going to be changed for the Highlanders. Jermaine Ainsley off for Daniel Leonard-Brown. Also, we're going to see Ricky Jackson make his way on for Henry Bell, who is disappointed with his performance. Didn't quite have that same impact that he would have been after. Come on, the Landers, bring it back. Says Simran. Out stolen in the breakdown by Marcel Renner to go the Blues. Dawn. Says Mus. Like they're saying, Hoskins a 2-2 in front of the new All Blacks coach. Just really making a big statement here. Trying to show how much should be in that All Blacks team. Don't think the Highlanders get any points. And boo, Highlanders, says Freddie. Okay. And Hoskins putting on a performance for Razor, says Marco. He's stepped up well. I think Fala Fakatava has also done pretty decently here. And then Caleb Clark's probably been a little bit more quiet. He wants the ball a lot more. You can tell the way that he's trying to search for it. Ha, says Fluffy. And the Bailey's logo is nicely placed, says Simran. Now, I do think I know what one you're talking about. Yep, okay, I've just seen it. Because normally, one of the other sides, they have a brewery, but it's kind of like a circle, so it's a circle right around the hole, I think is the best way of describing it. And now Pakatava, I think forward. Across to this left-hand side, there goes Broughton. Counter ruck from Dalton Papali, good hustle in the breakdown. It's going to be the penalty now to the Highlanders. They'll still have another 2 or 3 minutes remaining of the yellow card. Joining the ruck incorrectly is the penalty there. Has been awarded. Caleb Clark needs to step up this year. Need to see him back in the lineup. Says gets an L and definitely making that card count, but Landers need to capitalise. Brilliant player, Fakatava. And do naught, says Fluffy. Now rolling maul 10 metres out from the line. Slowly marching forward here with Ricky Jackson at the back. Both men on the field at the moment who are playing. Two unnamed Ricky. That's a useless bit of information, but one Ricky's about to cross the line. One Ricky. No, Ricky's been stopped. Now only a couple metres out. Sean Withy. Very close to going in as well. Fakatava stolen by Mark Delia, who was rushing off the line and has managed to get the ball back for the Blues. That is a crucial turnover. Tava Nawai just ragdolling. Taufa Funaki, man, that was close. Irish, it certainly was. Okay, Sam Gilbert has just been told to settle down by Angus Gardner. He said, excuse me, don't yell at me, was the exact comment. I'll go there just after midday tomorrow. Says Kiwi Gamer. I get some mongrel in him, develop the ruthless edge. He's like Patrick Tugalotu, has the physical prowess, but is soft like marshmallow. Says Marco. Well done from Mark to Leah. Now, of course, if he didn't get that turnover, that would have been a massive gap. That would have opened up. 47 minutes gone. The Highlanders still having to play with the 14, and they've lost their line out. Ricky Riccatelli gets it away. Daniel Leonard Brown chasing that. He's been tackled by his own player there. I think Taufa Funaki took down Perafeta. While that was close to Leah, you're the man. Says it was there from Spider Mick. And also we have got there Jinx Fakatava with the I don't know what that is, with the close steel, maybe. And 12:10 they will fly over Oamaru. I will not be in Oamaru at 12:10 though. And predictive Greek sucks. Tafa Funaki will be making his way from the field. That it's going to bring on Sam Knock, Northland representative. Harry Plummer also out there on the field. I think that is for Stephen Perafeta. In fact, that might actually be for one of the midfielders. We've got ourselves another scrum feed now. Alpha Funaki, probably one of his best games that he has had in recent times, I would say. And Ushfala Pakatava dyed his hair, so Razor can spot him a mile away. Strategic, and I guess in some regards is working. We always know where he is on the field. I think Sam Knock actually did the dyeing of the hair last year, didn't he? He had more of the kind of mullet going on, but this year he looks like he's gone back to just mullet, no hair dye. That's a big scrum from the Highlanders. It's going to be a use it for the Blues, though. Harry Plummer goes across to Stephen Perafeta. That answers whether or not he is still on the field. Gets the ball on the outside to Mark Delia. Jonah Nariki has been able to take him down. What colour is it this season? It's just plain brown, pretty much. They'll fly over Waimea Town at 12:04. I won't actually be there either, though, so I might not get to see it. And the German play Hammy, what's his name? Anton Siegner. He is not playing in this game. Did play last week and was extremely busy, but he might have ended up with an injury, unfortunately, which might be why he is not there. But also just because they have to try and, I guess, rotate their side as much as they can. Now back to 15 here for the Highlanders. And Ricky Jack. I don't know why I said Ricky twice. I think that's because I've gone on about how there's two Rickies. Ricky Jackson gets the pass back off the line out. On to Broughton. Dalton Papali once again trying to cause nuisance at the breakdown. And it's proven effective. The Highlanders have given up the ball with the knock on. That's what I'm talking about, is what we've just heard from Dalton Papali'i. So he is fired up. And New Zealand is losing. New Zealand's playing New Zealand in this one. Unless you're talking about the cricket, then yes, not good performance from them. Did you hear about Virgil from WWE yesterday? I did not know. And Sigler and the Berlin Philharmonic. I have no idea what that means, so I probably shouldn't have read it. Zahn Sullivan, he's actually had a quiet game today. Oh, Zahn Sullivan. I thought that we would have seen a little bit more of him throughout this contest. I would say that out of the two, Jacob Ratamaitavuki Netkins has probably actually been the pick of the fullbacks. And I'll come on the Black Cats, says Mr. Orlin. Yeah, they're going to need a few more quick wickets tomorrow morning to be able to really have a good impact in that game. 50 minutes through. I've got Zahn Sullivan and Stephen Petafetta set up directly behind this scrum. Yes, you are right. I'm talking about Australia and New Zealand. Australia is caught up. Says Surdip. But too much movement there by the looks of it at scrum time. We are once again going to see another scrum reset. $14 points. Cricket for, says Fluffy. Do you not have the New Zealand? Yeah, you have the New Zealand cricket logo as your picture, Fluffy. I'm actually going to be playing cricket tomorrow. Fun fact, I got promoted. Going to be playing in the next grade up. I'm actually holding a cricket ball at the moment, but should be very exciting. I'm either going to go terribly and never get asked to play for them again, or I might do all right and get to play for them in the future more. A good three, says Mr. Orlin. Now, it's going to be another penalty advantage to the Blues. Do they take on the 3 points here to give them the lead, or do they go for one more try to then be sitting in a position of a bonus point? I think that they've got to go for the 3 here. Push that lead out to 17 points, which might just be a little bit too much. Using the GoPro dude. Not sure about tomorrow, to be honest, mainly because it is the next level up. And I don't know how they would feel about the GoPro. Not just like the other team, but also my team. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll actually have it on for the game. I'll see how it goes. I'll see how I'm feeling when I wake up and see whether or not it seems like they'll want to see it. I don't have Indians in the Black Caps, says Freddie Simon. I mean, Reaction Ravindra got a duck, so not ideal. Now, lining up this kick for Stephen Petafetta, it has gone over, and now making the score 32 points to 15 in favour of the Blues. Doing all right here. At the moment, they just need to keep this momentum going forward. If they are able to do so, then of course, that will help them massively. We will go like this. We'll go like that as well. And Duck's no good. He's a vegetarian, says Fluffy. I mean, the last time that I did play at this grade, I did get a golden duck. Although it was a golden duck, but it wasn't really because I faced a wide first. The time before that, I went a bit better. Hasty made his way onto the field now. That's going to be the knock on. Or in fact, no, the ball's just got stuck in the rolling maul, so the Highlanders will have themselves a scrum feed. Tanuelu Talia did a really dumb thing there by running in and pushing Ricky Riccatelli. If he does that again, yep, Angus Gardner calling him over. If he does it again, it's going to get reversed, and that would be the last thing that they want here. After the whistle, don't run in. Tanuelu Talia says, yes, sir, with a straight face. Then as soon as Angus Gardner's walked away, he looks at the guy who he pushed, Ricky Riccatelli, gives him a big smile as if to say, oh, we got caught. We'll do it again next time, though. Okay, it's going to be a more restart turnover here. And there's no way that's our name. Or, yeah, our name makes sense. So, yeah, it is for the badminton side of things. I used to be not bad at badminton, but I don't think I could ever be able to say it with a straight face if I ever got that good and did get to play for the international team, or the national team, I should say. Now, Hasty. Have to put this ball in. Reese Patchell. Oh, no, we got another scrum reset. I mentioned how we didn't have too many scrums in that first half, and I seem to have jinxed it completely here. And I let the Dairies respectfully, says Naz Williams. I love playing badminton, even though I suck. It's fun to play. It's one of those ones that, like, it doesn't look like it would be fun to some people who don't like it. But when you actually play it, it's not bad. It's just like tennis, except it floats for a bit longer, so you don't end up with a tennis ball to your face. 55 minutes in. Hasty now puts the ball in. Nice strong scrum from the Highlanders. Rush defence from the Blues, trying to shut it down. Teniwelu Talia almost went straight through, but he's been tackled well by AJ Lamb. He's also decided to dye his hair for this season of Super Rugby Pacific. Trying to get through the middle of the breakdown. It is Harry Plummer now. Teniwelu Talia with the pick and go. Got brought into protected. That was side entry, I believe, from the big man Fabian Holland. Probably lucky to get away with that one. Hoskins Atutu trying to hold up as a rolling maul. And it is going to be called as one. And slipped a disc playing badminton. Brutal sport, says Fluffy. Yeah, to be fair, when I used to play, we'd play on, like, courts, like the same as basketball courts. But for some reason, I was obsessed with diving on said court. Don't know what my brain was telling me, but like I'd do full stretch dives to try and stop the shuttlecock from hitting the ground, and you just end up pretty much just grazing everything. And then I kind of grew some brain cells and realized maybe I don't need to do that each and every week. Man, my shoulder is bad and my left arm is useless, but wouldn't mind trying. So here's Mr. Orlin. And fell over once and accidentally penetrate. What happened, Marco? I'm glad I stopped when I did. Jeez, that's a new one. Ushgun player, says Naz Williams. 56 minutes in at the moment. Had a lot more scrums in the second half. Razor Robinson watching on for this game, of course. The Rebels game just around the corner. Well, Emmy, if you pick between a Cobra and a Mongoose, do you go for? I don't know. Probably Cobra. Just because I've always found it fascinating that snakes are able to move when they don't have legs. Court Burns. Fun picking off the scabs, though, says Fluffy. Looks like once again there's a bit of a miscommunication at scrum time and a bit of a mishap. And we now have to wait a tad longer for these two sides to get another scrum going. Currently down by 17, the Highlanders. They need to score soon if they want a chance. They're currently $21 underdogs. That's not good. They're saying they've got to try and ruffle the Blues' feathers here. You ignore cricket commentary, says Saline. You ignored the 2 live streams that I've done of cricket commentary over today and yesterday, Saline. Fun fact, we've done 2 live streams. We actually did the full first session of today. I didn't see you there. Maybe you're the one who is ignoring the cricket. And our big scrum turning around too much, so we are going to once again have another scrum reset. Almost 22 minutes remaining by the time we have the end of this one. And also we have Gadeo, who doesn't enjoy a good scab picking session. Scratchy, says Marco. I think since we've had the changes in the front row of Angus Tavo and Josh Fusitua, as well as Daniel Leonard-Brown, just seems like it hasn't quite gone as smoothly as it was prior. I think most changes have been made by both of these sides now for the final 20 or so minutes. And come on, Landers. There's Naz Williams. Sam Knock. Oh, those knees have gone down, and that's going to be the penalty in favour of the Blues. Daniel Leonard-Brown didn't feel like it should have been. And it looks like Angus Tarville's having a little bit of a chat there too. This scrum took 4 minutes. Somewhere around there to get through. Like, that was just far too long. We had like 3 resets. And make it a game, says Naz Williams. Now that one doesn't look like it's going to find touch. Jananariki runs onto it. Now gets it across to Broughton. Once again, run that ball back into the half of the Blues. But in the breakdown, each and every time the Blues are trying to make it very tricky. I don't know why. I can see the chat, but the video isn't working no matter what I do. So tell me what I'm missing in the chat, please. So if you go back out and then back in, maybe it will end up working. Kiriwani does not want to let him go. Hey, Hamish, how you doing tonight? Doing very well, thank you. And yep, now more push and shove is coming between Talia and Max Hicks. What Talia doesn't realise is the only reason that started was because of Kiriwani was being a bit of a menace. We have got there. Come on, ref, be fair. Come on, Landers, what kind of pass is that? Says Mr. Orland. And well, George is on the chat now and is dancing zesty for us, says Marco. Now 59 minutes through. Who wins in the NRL on Sunday? I'll be honest, I probably haven't watched enough of the preseason to know who's going to be doing well. I think it's the Sea Eagles, isn't it? Sea Eagles versus... Can't think of who they're versing, not Rabbitohs. Nariki has been taken off the field now, though, for Jonah Lowe. I think that is the last change for the Highlanders that they were able to make. Sam not feeding this ball in for another scrum on the halfway line. This one once again being dominated by the Blues, who have come up. It's going to be available. Angus Gardner has just decided to let scrums play out. We've had too much time that has been wasted already with the two sides going back and forth. Sam Knock goes across to Angus Tarville. Now Knock again. Manly versus South Sydney Rabbitohs. And Broncos versus Roosters in Vegas. So yeah, here's Jeffrey. So yeah, we'll be interested to see how it ends up going. And also Wabbits and Wasses. And why is the NRL in Las Vegas when they're prancing around talking about rugby? They're stealing rugby's fame. It's league, not rugby. Now another chance of a turnover. That ball's going to be slapped down by Zahn Sullivan. Now I don't know if he's allowed to regather that after being tackled. But it looks like it's going to be on their hands or on the side of the Highlanders. Now Hesty goes across the broad and bounce pass. Patchell slings it across to Tenielu Talia. Looking for the 50-22. Just able to keep that one in the field of play was Stephen Perofeta. What's the score? Video still won't play. Refreshed, I've changed tab. Everything, says Simran. And there as well. I just realised me reading that out, she wouldn't have been able to hear that anyway. Go like this. And like this. There we go. Nicely run forward by Sam Gilbert. Kiriwani losing his footing. He's given away the penalty. 56. I was just talking to you. There's Fluffy. I will put the score 32 points to, what is it? 32-15. There we go. 18 minutes remaining. Oh, I did that badly. I didn't actually... I don't put the space. Oh, Marco, now you be careful here because she's asked what I'm saying and I don't trust what you're going to put. Now Reece Patchell kicking this one towards the corner. And that is a brilliant kick. 5 metres out from the line now. 18 minutes remaining. This is when the Highlanders need to get themselves the try. They're able to do so. They're in the box seat to try and start that comeback. Oh, nicely claimed. Sam Withy going across. Try commentating on IPL and see what response you get. We've actually done it before in the past, a wee while back. We did the IPL and we peaked at 4 viewers throughout the whole live stream. A Tava Nawai into the corner, scores it for the Highlanders. Sounds like they want to check this one, but just a brilliant backline. He's reading your chat, not sure why you can't watch him though. Says Marco. That's a very sensible answer from you, Johnny. I am surprised. Thanks for the score in the chat and good try. Says Mr. Orlin, who wants to type Tava Nawai as the try scorer? I just know if you're free to go on a cruise somewhere. Says Fluffy. I don't even know if I'm free to go on a cruise. I got to go on a cruise ship for a day, and then I still pretty much ran out of time to do everything. That's out. Says Spider-Mick. And we came home from that day and continued streaming. One more and we got the game. Says Mr. Orlin. So in terms of the betting odds now, the Highlanders have gone down to $13 underdogs once more here. I'm unsure why the video won't load. And also, who is the favourite team? It's normally whoever the most Kiwis are playing for, just because I like seeing the New Zealanders and the Australians taking part in the IPL. Sam Gilbert. He's missed everything today. But finally, I feel like I've got a good feeling about this one. And he's just snuck it over, making the score 22 points to 32. There we go. Virat Kohli is a son. Do you know what his name is? You can tell me. I know, but I'm asking you a question. No idea. I never knew that he even had a kid. Virat Kohli. And that's funny. I'm sure he wouldn't have said that. What did he actually say? Careful, Fluffy. Team frame bowlers. It's going to be kicked off, though. 10 points difference with 16 minutes remaining. Beautifully taken by Caleb Clark. And I mentioned about how the Blues always fire straight back. And that's what they're going to be looking for here. Sam Knock going away to the right-hand side. Lachlan McWannell has been taken off the field. That is for Adrian Choate. Now Zahn Sullivan. Back across to the right-hand side. Zahn Sullivan to a Kiriawani. Hello, is it me you're looking for? I think. Says Fluffy, a nice try. Landers, nice offload. Now out the back line. Fusi Tua gets it away to Harry Plummer. Great game this, says Jan Lewis. Certainly is. High scoring. Blues don't look like they're done yet, though. And if they can score now, you'd almost say that that would take enough time out of the game for a possible result to be on the cards. Now, Hoskins to 2-2 across to Mark Talia. He's dropped the ball. A rare mistake from that man. So close to the try line. Only a few metres out now. It's Sean Withy. For me, has been one of the real standouts for the Highlanders here. Back into the pocket. Patchell is not happy with that one. He's also ended up with a little bit of cramp after kicking it. Potatoes, says Fluffy. But coming up soon, the Western Force taking on the Melbourne Rebels. That game taking place at the exact same location at AAMI Park. Which will be exciting. Hopefully it is a high scoring one too. Both sides just warming up. Gibbon actually had 139 on his back. I think that's how much he weighs. And that's actually the reasoning, I believe. Or unless that's how much Teniela Tupou weighs. Too little too late. Says Pretty Simon. Unless, of course, an interception try can be scored now. Hachu, says Freddie Simon. Has Caleb Clark scored yet? He is not, Aiden. And now past our white Dalton Bubbly. He's got a decent chance here, though, because they're only about 15 metres out from the try line. Adrian Choate running onto that one hard. Recently replaced Lachlan McWannell. Oh, yeah, finally loaded. Wahoo. Says them run there. Big run from Stephen Bitterfitter. Almost going through the gap. Picked up by Adrian Choate. Hands on the ground for Gilbert, so he's not able to contest with that one now. Harry Plummer, big shot on him again. For Solamau. I think Eddie Jones will come back to Australia. I hope not. I feel like all he did when he came back to Australia was take their money and ruin their rugby. Now Ricky Riccatelli. 10 metres out from the line. Is Caleb married? No, they were actually talking about it before the game. He's single and looking to mingle. If you know anyone in Auckland, let Caleb Clark know, as he's keen to meet some ladies. Now past that wide Angus to Aval. Play on here, Harry Plummer. Another couple phases for the Blues, and they might be over the try line. Peter Feder is going to need to shine this year. Only 5 metres out now. Mark Delia again sells the dummy. 9 times out of 10, that man is going to try his best to go around the side of a breakdown. Where's your next game, Hamish? So the next one on the channel is going to be at about 3:54 p.m. tomorrow. So Tutu for the hat-trick. He's got it as well. 5 tries, 2 games for Hoskins Tutu, and that will be the game. What about someone from Dunedin? I mean, if someone from Dunedin, he's in Auckland, I feel like the distance might be the problem there, but, you know, you can flick him a message on Instagram. I'm sure he's very active on there, being a young man. Mansatutu looking ripe now, says Mr. All In, and so Tutu. And the Tongan Torpedo goes hard, says Naz Williams. But yeah, that'll be the first game tomorrow. But tomorrow, during those matches, we will actually have Tim on the channel doing the commentary for the Sevens. And then my first game will actually be the one between the Waratahs and the Crusaders. So a little bit further in the future. But up until then, we've still got Sevens and Super Rugby Pacific. How come the Blues players don't like or don't play like this when they're playing for the ABs? Hamish, are you on Instagram? I am, but only very, very rarely. But anyone who wants to follow us, we've got a KiwiLands Instagram, which we still haven't posted on. We'll have to do that at some stage. Waisaki on fire. Like Naholo? And Landers seem tired, says Simran. Now Stephen Perifere has missed that one away to the side, but the score does still remain at 37 points to 22. One more try for the Blues, and they will walk away from this game more than likely with the bonus point. So we have got there, okay, says Mr. All In and try time, so 2-2, says JYD. I'm going to be kicked off by the Highlanders. Kicked high and long, so 2-2 again, charging up towards the 22. That is, of course, his own 22 for the Blues. I'll look to close out this game without conceding another try. Caleb Clark passes him behind to Stephen Petafetto, who went for the grubber in behind. Nicely cleaned up by Reece Patchell. Back across now to Jonah Lowe. And they'll go back for the penalty. Highlanders running extremely low on time. Taking the quick tap there. That is... 15 was fine, apparently, even though he's only like 3 metres back. And the Blues ever won a Super Rugby Cup way back in the day. They were able to win, and also they won Super Rugby Trans-Tasman. That ball didn't sit up for Timothy Tavatava Nawai, which means that it does go into touch, and they will have the option of a scrum or a line-out. More than likely, I think they'll take the scrum. I still think Satutu is a bit skinny, needs another 5 kg at least, especially considering the likes of Gregory Aldred, Jasper Visa, some big bag bouts out there, and another season of regret and disappointment. Whoever the Landers got next, says Fluffy, that is a brilliant question. And the next game for the Highlanders, we will go here, we will go here, we will click here, and we will go like that. There we go. The next game will be up against the Waratahs next week. That is taking place at 9:35 p.m. New Zealand time. Then they've got the Brumbies, then the Chiefs, Highlanders taking on the Hurricanes in just under a month, and then the Rebels game on the 13th of April. For the Blues, for anyone curious, their next game will be up against the Hurricanes. Then they've got the Tars, then going head-to-head with the Crusaders, Moana Pacifica, and the Western Force. A kick downfield. Hamish, you make me feel old the way you say it, says Mr. All-In. You make me feel old the way you say it. What do I say that makes you feel old? Tavatava Nawai? Now a big run forward from Ricky Jackson, looking for the offload to Broughton. Big run forward from Saula Mau again. Blues trying to get the turnover, and that's a penalty, playing the ball on the ground. That was Sam Knock. Has been penalised for that one. And our last Super Championship, says Mr. All-In. Oh, you know, it was a while ago, though, on it for the Blues. They'll get there, though. Like, Super Rugby Trans-Tasman wasn't too far away from a polar bear. Says JYD. Artie at 7, Satutu at 8. And whoever plays a well for that 6 shirt, what about Sam Kane? Nah, he can get stuffed, says Marco Vanapola. Now 7.5 minutes remaining. The Highlanders have still got the potential of also bringing this back to within 7, get themselves the losing bonus point, which could be absolutely crucial as the season does wear on. Nicely claimed there. Sean Withy trying to bust his way through the defensive line, and he's actually been one of the best players on the field, I believe, for the Highlanders alongside Reece Patchell. Jonah Lowe now. 8 metres out for the line. Max Hicks drops his head and charges at the line. Back across now, Hastings. Shot there on Ricky Jackson. Which I don't count that COVID win as a super championship. Yeah, to be fair, it was only like a shortened competition without playing other New Zealand sides. Dalton Papali'i in the breakdown. Gets the turnover again. Very happy with that one for Dalton Papali'i. 6.5 minutes. This last little patch has dragged a little bit. But the Blues, if they get one more try, they get the bonus point. If the Highlanders get one more try and something, then they'll get the bonus point. So they're a little bit far away at this point. And also we have got there, someone had to win it, says JYD, and bye-bye Landers, back to Dunners, you lot go, says Mark. Although I think their next game is in Australia, so I don't think they'll come back yet. They'll probably spend the week in Australia and then come home. But eventually they'll end up back in Dunedin. Now a little chip in behind from Stephen Petafeta. Nicely taken by Tava Nawai, who I also think hasn't been too bad for the Highlanders. AAMI's the best 10 in the world. Currently, I mean, there's a few that would be definitely up there in terms of argument's sake. Counter-rucking with hands on the floor. Carter Gordon said not many people. And we have got there Convid. Glad I stayed pure blood, says Marco. That one's going to be kicked into touch. Oh. Had a strip again, I think, said the referee. I think that's for those breakdowns that they're getting in. A week in Oz. Thoughts and press. Aussie's all right, though. Like, you get some nice weather. Probably get to go to the beach, play some golf if they brought the clubs. While the Blues and Landers play in Aussie Hammies, pretty much because it's the Melbourne Super Round. Every game taking place in Melbourne, stolen at line-out time. That time, it was by the Blues once more. Sam Knock now, a lot of pressure on him in the breakdown. Stephen Petafeta sells the dummy, going off to the left-hand side. He's almost cut straight through. Had Clark on his outside, but couldn't get it away to him. Seems like the Blues want to run the full length of the field here rather than going to their kicking game. Now it's going to be booed away downfield from Petafeta. Highlanders not communicating well between Jacob Rata, Matabuki Nickens and Timothy Tava Nawai. Which means that the gap was there. The ball bounced. Good pressure there on Hasty. Hasn't really been able to get too much going as of yet for the Highlanders, just going through the motions. Olo Brown, says JYD. Stephen Petafeta. And that one's gone into touch. A very good kick from him. About 46 metres out from their own line. The crowd are booing because they felt he was outside of the 22, but the referee did say it was on the line, which is why it was continued. Now ball is thrown over the top. Nicely taken by Billy Harmon. He is a name that we haven't said anywhere really throughout this whole game. Now back across to the left, Tava quick hands to Jacob Ratamatabuki Nipkins. Almost had the knock on, but managed to regather at the Blues going with the counter ruck. And once again, they just managed to take that ball back, but this time it's knocked on by Mark Delia. It's the spank, and it becomes a penalty. Yeah, so it was originally a knock-on against Mark Delia. Mark Delia sent some abuse the referee's way, and the referee turns it into a penalty. He said, nah, we're not having that. We've already been through what I want to see in this game, which involved not getting sworn and yelled at. Delia broke that rule, so the Highlanders get the penalty there. Highlanders, of course, from here, I don't believe they can win this game, but they can still get a little bit further back into it. Cut down that points differential, nicely taken. Sullivan has been taken off the field for Forbes, who will only get a couple minutes. They're being told to use it once. Hasty looking for that next pass. Cross kick attempted now by the youngster. Got a little bit too much on it. And Timothy Tavatavanawa was not able to bring it back in. Now Forbes thought about the quick line out. As a Satyrs fan, got to support South Island brothers, says Spinks. And Angus Bell is the man. See, as a marker, and of course we are going to get to see him in action a bit later on in the weekend. 100 seconds remaining though in this contest, which has had a lot of steam sucked out of it. It's a weird way of wording it, but it's true. I feel like both of these sides have still got a lot that they want to do in this game, but they just haven't quite been able to execute it throughout the last little while. Here comes Caleb Clark though, passing out to AJ Lamb. Tackled well by Reece Patchell, as well as Sam Gilbert. Gilbert looked like he was a little bit slower getting back up to his feet there. Ball's back out for Sam Knock. Good tackle made by Fabian Holland. Billy Harmon over the ball. Has got that turnover for the Highlanders. Now the youngster step in there. Number 22, Faliafanga. And Ola Brown, old natural brother. And also we have got there Steam Suka. And now back across to Jonah Lowe. 1 minute left on the clock there. The ball's still available. Hasty has been played at the right time by Sam Knock. He's tried to go again and he's knocked it on in the breakdown. Don't know how the referee missed that. Same with the touch judge. I feel like it was right there, obvious. And best ref Wayne Barnes. Around the side. And still trying to get that turnover in the breakdown. Another one goes against the Blues, and this will be a yellow card to Sam Knox. Someone in the commentary box, his phone's going off, I do hear. Someone forgot to put it on silent. And Mr. All-In said exactly. So 225 tackles made so far from the Highlanders. That is a massive, massive stat. Western Force versus the Rebels next. What's your assessment of Caleb Clark's performance today? Not as good as he was in the first game. Saying that, he didn't really get too many opportunities. He went searching for it early, but other than that, the ball just hasn't really gone out to him. Are you and George planning on getting a racing wheel for your Xbox? Mozza have the R3 bundle for Xbox. They also have a new truck wheel base to use with On the Road, the truck simulator on Xbox. I actually already have a steering wheel for the Xbox, just never used it. Use the Force Harry Potter. Says Fluffy, they've got themselves another penalty advantage for the Highlanders, so they may not be able to win this game, but they can cut down that deficit just a little bit more. Faliafunga get taken down well. Jay Land trying to get over the top. That is a big shot from the Blues. And Caleb will go to the NRL. And also, good brother, all the best for your cricket game tomorrow, says Bear. Thank you very much. That will be the try, though. On debut, AJ Faliafunga has managed to score the try. It's not going to win them the game, but it will give them just a little bit more hope going forward. It's cut down the deficit. But good work from Reece Patchell, just the grubber in behind. They had numbers for days, the Highlanders. They had 3 men who could have picked that one up. Caleb needs to go to 12. Says Mr. All-In. And use the Force Harry Potter, and also woohoo. Says Simran in there as well. But it is going to be close to the end of this game, ladies and gents. Good to see a single-digit game. Yeah, and almost getting back within the 7 points that they needed. Have a crack at the conversion. I know that it sounds bad, but for the Highlanders, I feel like they almost don't want this kick to go over. Because if it does, that means that those 4 missed conversions that they've had could have got them within the bonus point. And in fact, if you add up all the points that they've missed, that would be an extra 9 points, which would give them the victory. But of course, you can't base a game off missed chances when it comes to the kicking tee. There are other times the Highlanders just weren't quite able to do enough. And man, these Landers just don't give up. Says Mr. All-In. Don't jinx them. says Simran. 82 minutes through, and the kick is going to be good. So the Highlanders will lose this game 29 points to 37, but it is a good effort and a good opening way to start the super round of this competition. And next, Rebels versus Force, the Battle of Mid, says Banks. And also we have there, what's up, says Umbrella Company. Welcome in, and Landers might have lost, but they look much grittier and more respectable than last season, says Rugby Patch. So I should mention the next games that we are doing on the channel, ladies and gents, is actually going to be the Sevens tomorrow, followed by the Fijian draw versus Moana Pacifica, and also the matchup taking place between the Waratahs and the Crusaders. But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to, of course, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.